Hello, my name is Daniel Hill and I'm here with Matt. Can you remember when you first came to see me?
2013, just before the summer, yeah.
Okay.
It was at work.
We worked out that the last time you came to see me was 6 months and 2 days ago.
Yep.
What would you say that was one of the turning points? Because your life is pretty good now.
Yeah. Well, when I originally came to you, I think the biggest thing I came to you about was my self-esteem and my lack of confidence in social situations and things like that. And although we did EFT, the biggest thing for me was learning about the Enneagram and really the details, because that for me was like validating all the things I'd been feeling, and that this was normal for me as a 4, 5.
Yeah.
So it was the
4
Enneagram.
with a 5 wing.
That's right. So it was the Enneagram, yeah.
It was huge. We did some EFT there to start, didn't we?
And it does. I still do it when I get into the situations where I am anxious.
Yeah.
But it's the understanding of what I'm like and self-acceptance that was a big thing for me.
That you were looking for, and
yeah.
And you ended up finding.
Mm.
Yeah. I remember that you resonated with the 4, but and you accepted that much more, and it was but it's this 5 wing, it's this 5 that holds me back.
But at the beginning we weren't sure whether I was a 5 or a 4.
Well, I couldn't work out if you were a 5 or a 4.
You typed me on the phone over like 10 minutes or 20 minutes, and you said I was either a 4 or a 5.
Yeah.
And I thought I was a 5 with a 4 wing.
Yeah.
And you gave me the CDs to listen to, and then the more I listened to the 4, I thought, no, I'm a 4, but there is a lot of the 5 in there.
Yeah.
So the issues came from both of them,
Yeah.
just trying to work out which one I was.
And one of the ways you can work out your type is to understand what happens in stress. So in stress, it's a 4 that you'd move more to 2, to the helper, and then integration you move to the healthy aspects of 1.
That's right, yeah.
Okay.
And you asked me that, and I thought there is somebody who is a 2 that when I get stressed I do go to her.
You do go to her?
Yeah, I'm a 4.
You're 4.
Or 5,
yeah. Okay. We had instant rapport. I think the very first session you had a Smith's badge, which is that still Smith's badge? It is, yeah. Smith's badge on there, and of course I play the guitar and sort of look a bit like Morrissey-ish, and so I'm a cross between a mould between Johnny Marr and Morrissey all in one, and I was a big Smith's fan and Morrissey fan and Johnny Marr fan, so we had that. And Morrissey's we were always talking about Morrissey. Is Morrissey a 4 with a 5, or is he 4 with a 3? Because he's obviously extraordinarily successful. He's definitely 4.
You can see the 4, because F. Scott Fitzgerald said that a genius is somebody who can whine appreciatively. Success out of that, which Morrissey seems to have done.
Extraordinarily well. Yeah. Probably the person that most iconised with what do they call him, the Pope of Mope or something like that, whatever. I mean, that's very, very unfair, but yes, that tendency to write about drama and not having what I want, and then also if you look at it, he also talks, he goes to his 1 and talks about, in a negative way, talks about how things are wrong with the world and that perfectionistic sort of way.
Yeah, and he's introverted, because that's his 5, and I think he's probably like that more than 3.
Yes.
4, 5.
I'd agree, and I'd probably say Bowie was probably the same, although we couldn't work out whether Bowie was a 3, 4 or a 4, but Bowie has that tendency to be introverted. See, we talk about music, and this is where we have rapport, so is there anything else about the Enneagram, or?
It was just using that to work out what my issues were, and the things I was doing, like the envy for the 4, and how they were stopping me doing the things that I should be doing.
So tell people out there how understanding your type and boxing yourself, because a lot of 4s would go, I don't want to be boxed, I'm far too special and unique and individual to be boxed. How has that been able to help you within your psychology and begin to master it? Which has led to your self-acceptance.
Yeah, I suppose it came from the 5, because my natural tendency was to, instead of, because I found it difficult in social situations, my natural tendency was to withdraw from those situations, because you always told me that was my subconscious trying to protect me by withdrawing me and not putting me in those stressful situations. Whereas really, that's what 5s do, but 5s aren't very good at dealing with their issues. They will distract themselves with lots of other things, rather than deal with the central thing that's troubling them. And so what I really needed to do was put myself in those stressful situations, which was to go out with friends and socialise and get to know people, rather than withdrawing myself and thinking that this will help me.
Yeah.
So that was...
And in doing that, actually find that you did have capability and competency, which is always what the 5 fears, by hiding itself away, or herself, himself, and thinking, I haven't got the capability of competency to be able to deal with this situation.
Yeah.
And it feels safer to be in a hole and just shut yourself away.
Yeah, yeah. Because there's nobody there that will let you down or tell you what you're doing is wrong.
Except you have misery. So it's very much like Morris's story, sort of like what he was singing about in the 80s.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just a cycle that goes round.
Right.
You never break out of it, really.
Yeah.
You just fuel the problem.
The problem gets worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then another part of what we did, I started to, when that tendency for why you weren't having the thing that you wanted came up, I started to sort of say, okay, well, be grateful for everything. So even the stuff that you've attracted that you don't want, fall into a sense of love and appreciation for that, and really bliss out on that, because then that was going to raise your vibration. You wanted to attract a partner, that was one of the things, and then you had a limiting belief that said, I can't attract one.
That's right, yes.
He doesn't want to say, he actually did not comment, but it was true. He actually does have a very nice partner now.
I do now, yeah.
Yeah, I do now,
yeah.
But, and so you broke through that limiting belief.
That happened at a point in my life where I thought that I have to put myself out there, even if it doesn't work.
Yeah.
You just put yourself out there, and then if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It doesn't mean it's never going to work.
Which is what we're working on, and you're going to have a learning about yourself.
Yeah, that's right.
From that. And the experience of, maybe I didn't want to be with this person.
Yeah.
Maybe it would be that you would be rejecting them, or deciding that you don't want to go further into a relationship with that person.
Yeah. And there was the other thing about people letting me down, and when you were talking about being grateful for the bad stuff, that not holding on to, is it 4s or 5s that hold on to negative feelings for a very long time?
I would say it was more 4s than 5s.
Because I'd got a lot of things from the past, and so being able to let go of that, people who had let me down, was a learning point, because but it made me grateful for the fact that I had that time with that person, and now that was over, and now I could be grateful that I'd let go of it, because I could look to the future now and not be like troubled by it, or constantly thinking about it.
Yeah.
So that was significant as well.
And consumed by all of that, it takes up huge amounts of energy, and then you're also preventing yourself from having what you would like to experience, which is a connection and being seen for being significant in the eyes of somebody else. And if we think about Morrissey, going back to him, think about, we're talking about his autobiography, how many grudges, how much he's held over the years.
Settling old scores.
Settling old scores, still really not talking to Johnny Marr, sort of, are they going to have a Smiths reunion? I don't think so.
No. There's you can read that. There's a lot of that in there. Yeah. Which is what 4s and 5s do. Yeah. But then you waste so much time thinking about all these things that have happened and people who have long left you, that it prevents you from getting into any meaningful interactions with anybody that could potentially make your life a lot happier or be with you.
And as a result of doing all of that, you have.
Yes.
And you said in the email that the Enneagram's helped you in your latest relationship because...
I mentioned the Enneagram to her, not really expecting her to take it seriously, or really just as a whim, to be honest.
Yeah.
But the fact that she was interested in it, and that she typed herself and thought that she was either a 1-2 or a 2-1.
Yeah.
But then out of that, reading the book just out of interest, we were able to say that these are our little things that are like kind of
values.
Yeah, values, and the things that we struggle with, like mine would be envy and things like that, and that we're prone to do at times. And so it kind of gives you the foresight before you get to that situation, and you think, God, why is that person doing that?
Yes.
Is that something I've done? You know,
right.
That's what they go into. That's their type, what they'll go into, and it's kind of natural. But if you leave them, and that they will come out of it eventually.